Hello, can you hear me? Okay, let me see. Hello, hello, hello. Hmm, I'm wondering. Hello, I'm doing something. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, put a thumbs up. Like, say something if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know that too. Because I want to get off into my conversation. I'm not sure. Can I? Okay, I definitely can hear myself. Let me go and get me some chips. Get me a little snack going, y'all, because I want to do a little bit of talking. It's a dirty situation, dirty situation, dirty situation. And I pray that he is fine. I pray. Mhm. Yeah, I wanted to give you guys a moment. I had to go and get me a snack. Now, here's the thing for me. I opened up the panel. Let me see about sharing, but I'll share it in a minute. I open up the panel. Here's the thing for me. When I take a look at the Gabrielle Patino case, I don't know if anybody, and I know a lot of people are looking into it, and a lot of people want this solved, and I do too. But I had to pick it back off the video that I had previously made when I mentioned more than her. But I will say this deep in my heart, you guys, and I want it to be known, and I ask that you share this video because it seemed to me as if something was totally overlooked. And I don't hear too much about that. The thing for me is here's a young lady that lost her life chasing what belongs to her. Now, when I say lost her life, it came up that they were pulled over by, correct me if I'm wrong, Utah Police Department or something to that nature with two park rangers. And when these guys, the two park rangers pulled up first with the police officer, when they approached this situation, they didn't do it the correct way to me. Now, I don't know about how each state does it, but they had all the officer definitely had got the call that the man was slapping the woman and the woman was chased. They were running behind the vehicle or however that went. The situation came back into the officer's ear. That's what I'm trying to get across. And he explained to the dispatcher that he's going to take care of the situation. And as he approached the next officer to pull up with the female officer, as we all saw in the video, which that officer, that male officer, he made it clear to Gabby that they had witnesses that saw the situation. And Gabby, under the pressure she was under, she just would not confess that Brian hit her. And as a woman who have went through the, the trial of being a girl, young girl, you know what I'm saying? You know what she was scared. And I understood just the reason why, because she didn't really want to part by, part overnight or just separate from somebody she's with, somebody she trusts, somebody she loves, She don't want to just split away from that. Okay. So like why this officer was letting her know that there was witnesses and the female officer trying to convince her as well to do the right thing. They made a conscious decision, which they didn't make it. The first officer made it. This is how he made a solution to this problem. But what gets me is, and this is what I want to mention, instead of pulling up and asking for the ID and the registration of this vehicle, that wasn't did. Not one time was it even mentioned that they wanted to see the registration. And had he asked to see the registration, this all could have been avoided. And instead of, doing that, he brought up his own personal issues, took the whole situation into he kind of spin the narrative of the reason he pulled them over or whatever, because he saw something going on and he lacking doing that. And then this young lady who has been pulled over is is out there in the presence of men, and they shook her up. But had he asked for her license, had he asked the registration of the car or the van, he would have found out why this young lady was out in public screaming and hollering about being left alone. He would have found out that that was her vehicle. All to me, all of this could have been avoided had he not pulled over that van and talked about his personal relationship. That's the part that I can't get over. He pulled over the vehicle knowing that it was a dispute between a male and a female. And the part of the dispute was she wanted to get in the vehicle. And instead of this officer pulling up and saying, let me see the license and the registration of this vehicle, he decides to pour out his love life to them and completely spin the narrative to the story of what was really going on. And then this girl ended up no longer here with us. I don't know about many people, but I know about me. I don't think it was fair to her at all. I don't know if I can honestly say that this, and I'm just gonna say I think that needs to be investigated because what cop should be pulling up on anyone in any state and pouring out his heart about his love life? He completely took that story and spun the narrative on his love life. From the fact that the call came in that a girl was being slapped. And because they pulled up on Brian and he got scratches, the call also said she wanted going behind that van, her vehicle. And had he pulled up and said, let me see the license and registration, he could have simply solved it all. Because who don't want their vehicle? Who don't want their vehicle? He would have found out real quick that vehicle belonged to her. Now, here, and on the other hand, Brian looks sweet, but he forgot. He failed to realize that this vehicle, this van, had a registration. And had he pulled up instead of, oh, well, my wife this, my wife that, completely took the narrative of the call that came in to say the man was slapping the girl was chasing the van. If that cop had did his job the proper way, they would have. This wouldn't probably have happened, I would hope. Because all he had to do was pull up and say, let me see the license and registration. But instead, he took the narrative, oh, of course she gonna attack him. She trying to get in her van. He trying to take her possessions. That's why I got that post up there, manipulation. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Now it's a manhunt, and you looking for him, and you want to ask me? I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, you know what? This pop up and blocked my view, and I couldn't see nothing. My kids and my world. How are you? How are you? You in here? You know, let me see about sharing this panel. If you would like to, I'm gonna put the link here. Uh, let's see how that works. Screen share. Oh, look for this. But like I said, let me see what you said here. You said she was afraid she never got a chance to really speak the truth because he was close by her. Yeah, you know what? He taking her belongings. They're in the vehicle together. They're riding together. He being aggressive, snatching stuff. Probably, the trip to the restaurant said a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, but and they should have asked for the registration. That's what I was just saying. They should have asked for the registration. They should have asked for the registration. What he should have, because one cop pulled up first, period. And he said he's gonna make the decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand they have a certain authorization to do so, but that decision was totally wrong. Because not once, I don't think he even not once saw a registration. And had he to ask for that registration, it would have showed Gabby Petito, I'm quite sure. And that would have solidly answered a question that should have been boggling in his mind. Why was she chasing the vehicle? Because it belongs to her. So instead, he spin the narrative around, yeah, she was in love with him. And instead, he spin the narrative around to make it seem like, and which he did have the proof. I'm not denying that. She scratched him up. But he had her things. When the vehicle got pulled over, I knew it was behind the wheel. If the police department or this officer had said, let me see the registration and the license, the registration's license for this car, he'd have realized, oh, a man behind the wheel, this woman's car. And then he could have opened up and expand his thoughts a little bit more and say, did you give him permission to drive? See, he could have did that a lot of ways. But instead, he chose to spin the narrative because he want to say, hey, she attacked you. My wife do stuff like this. My wife is aggressive like this. My wife, it's all about his wife. And if I know right, he should have read between the lines, just hearing damn tapes of him complaining about her. You see where I'm going with this? Can you imagine your husband on duty telling other people when he pull them over, my wife, she nagged me, my wife do this. Like, that's not joking. That's not nothing that should be joked about. You know what I'm saying? Like, who does that when I really think about it? Who does that? He done took the whole narrative. Girl, I'm trying to open my little midnight snack. Wait a minute. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see if I can share this. Um, what's the video file? Um, Share screen. But we don't want that. It's the screen. Let me see how that works. No, I'm a cancel. New comment. Let me see. I wonder what time she passed away. Um, well, you got two witnesses that saw her on the saw. Let me get it right. You got two witnesses. They went to the restaurant on the 27th, and they had lunch at Mary's something restaurant. I'm not familiar with the area, y'all. Uh, two a couple was in the restaurant when this happened, so they was having lunch. I don't know about anybody, but lunch to me is anywhere from 11 to 2. But they said it was pretty close to 2. Another couple was riding through when they spotted the van. And the van door is supposed to have creaked open, which you do see that. I'm not doubting it, not one dime. Which you do see that. Wait a minute, my nose is itchy. One, the cop did not do his job right. Two, when he came back without her, his family. We're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna keep that up there. And that couple supposes, and they show video footage, about 4 or 5 or something. They came through and saw it. And then you got um, another couple that just like had a day while they was in their camper. You know what I'm saying? Traveling through. And she said they went through there about 6:30. So I don't know. If you ask me, somewhere in between that time. And it's just my opinion. I wasn't there. Um, don't hold me accountable for it. Okay? But that's just my opinion because after that, some movement took place. Now, that's why I haven't come up because I'm listening to some of the best people coming up here and throwing some tips out and just listening. And as you already know, when John Watch get on the case, he done already called them dirty laundry. They are dirty, filthy, huh? Okay. And we're gonna get off into my opinion on that too. Because if you ask me, that young lady that came up, them two young ladies that came up, they gave him a ride, baby. They cut so much little time out of his little travel. It was unreal to me. And if you ask me, Brian did not, and it's just my opinion. And I must say, my thoughts, allegedly, however you want to put it, is just my opinion. Brian did not leave home on the date that they want to tell you. The reason I say that, I say Brian did what he did, made it home as he traveled from the 29th and got them hitchhikes ride to the crib because he had already, while he was traveling, and this is just my honest opinion, he had already, while he was traveling, girl, you is just typing. Right. If the cop had not did his job, if the cop had did his job, I have to say we wouldn't be here today. Okay? Nah. But what I will say is, yeah, this case is so messed up. It's really messed up. If you ask me, Brian came home because if you ask me why he was doing all that traveling and hitchhiking, Brian made a call home. And this is just my opinion. Brian made it in that house on the 30th. And Brian made a move out of that house by the first. I believe the dirty line, mama and papa had a bag ready for him, cash ready for him, knew which way he was going to go. Now, the reason I could speculate and go into my own thoughts, and everybody got their own too, this is my crazy thought, y'all. And y'all know I haven't been up because I haven't been feeling good. But I'm laying back and I'm watching everything. I'm going to have to say it. Brian made a call to his parents. It's just my opinion. Everybody got one, you can share yours. He made a call to his parents upon hitchhiking his way home. When Brian got home, Brian's mama and papa had his bags ready, his cash ready, and his directions ready. There's no way Brian came home, and this is just my opinion, being a woman that cleans a house. Huh? Okay? There's no way Brian came home and stayed from let's just say the 30th, up until around September the 10th, 11th. And the police came in that house and can't find a fingerprint. There's no way he stayed in that house that long. I believe Brian Mama and them got him out of the situation. I believe she cleaned her house from top to bottom. And I believe she drove her own car to the destination where she picked it up and played it off like Brian rode in. And I say that because if Brian was last in that car in any part, shape, or form, if her neighbors didn't see her wipe her car clean, if the tailgaters ain't see her go to the car wash, Brian ain't been in that car. Brian left somewhere around the 31st. And that woman quietly cleaned her house up from top to bottom. The reason the cops can't find no fingerprint. I'm going to stand firm on that one. Now, and even in the car, you can't find no fingerprint. But he's supposed to drove it, right? And mama got in the car and the cops turned around and checked it and gave it back to her. Come on now. Now, who it was they smuggled out the house or made it look like Brian, it was a setup. They knew exactly what they was doing. Find that cousin or somebody that looked like Brian, same height. Find that nephew that looked like Brian, same height. But Brian, if you ask me, did not come into the house, and that's just my opinion. Brian might have came around the 30th, 31st, but I don't believe in my humble opinion of just giving a little thought to Brian. No, he didn't come in the house and stayed no long period of time. And if they smuggled him out, what did she do? Come on now. No fingerprint. All she doing is cleaning the house. She done wiped down everything in 10 days. Just like Wash said, gave her time to buy it out. It was bought out time. It was bought out time. Brian been gone. Brian across the state somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I really believe that. And I had the police ask that girl or ask Brian behind her truck, her van, or if he'd asked to say, let me see that license plate and that registration. If he had not flipped the narrative up the story of why he was pulling them over and paid attention to what his job was, you know, she'd still be here today. And then the question was asked to me. That's why I came on up, because the question was asked to me. Uh, uh, what was that question that was asked to me? Um, I can't even think of it. I said, you know what? Let me go on and go live with this. But yeah, Brian is he done did the absolute most, and I really don't believe. Oh, the question was asking me, do I think he killed her? I'm gonna tell you what I told the other people, the other person. Y'all listen carefully. What you don't hear about, they don't want you to hear. I say that because soon as the information dropped out about Gabby, I went on her Instagram, and she couldn't have had no more than 10 pictures of the butterfly being the last one. A lot of people have since then lingered on to it. I think she got like up to 1,000 pictures now. But I'm telling you now, if you go on there, you're going to end up scrolling over 1,000 pictures because people just put them on there. But I went and checked it out, and Gabby couldn't have had 10 pictures up. I swear to God, y'all. You know them black woods, and I'm going to just leave it like that. The pictures show, I want to say, uh, what is that? You know, she was by those little those big, beautiful rocks, and it was one rock looked like an arch, and it it's one looked like an arch, period. So, let me see, it's a new comment. Wait a minute. Let me put my glasses. You know I got some new glasses, girl, and it's hard to keep them on. John Walsh was right on point too. His family helped him get away. Yeah, they did. They did. So like she was sitting on the rock, and I'm looking at this little. I want to say it was the Instagram, and you know how I do the little quick fast motion. It did that, and she had the wood in her hand, and I picked up the telephone. I said, "Where in the hell they get wood on a campground?" And then I said this to the person. I said, "I hope she ain't got a hold of that." But see, that's that stuff y'all don't hear about. Like, I'm not exaggerating either. Like, y'all don't hear about it. I didn't make a video about it because it's out of respect, and it is what it is. But that's what I saw. So the next question was to me was, "You think he did it?" I in my heart and hearts, from what I saw, what I know I saw, I don't know. He could have been a kid. Well, yeah, he's an adult. He could have got scared. Why? He could have got scared because he had already been pulled over. It's already been a domestic situation. And if he called, first thing he'll be like, well, wow, he turned around and hurt her. So it's going to instantly automatically accuse him. And then there's the other hand. He could have out of anger. But to me, with what I'm hearing with the thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So with me, with the you know what? I got a horn for for my little chat too, girl. Check it out. But with me, my thing to that is check this out. Um, I don't know. My thing to that is I can't say, and I don't want to say he did because if the FBI only got a warrant for fraudulent use of debit cards and different things. When I heard that, I had to say to myself, well, who cards did he use? Did mama and daddy have to put charges on him because they're claiming a credit card missing? Or is it Gabby's? So you got an if right there. Who card is really missing? Who put the fraudulent charge? You know, did the FBI confront mama about one of her cards and she said, oh, he stole my card? Or daddy, oh, I didn't know he took my car. So you can look at a lot of different things why the FBI put that out there as if he's committing fraud. Okay? So then you gotta say to yourself, my nose is really like really, really itching me. Like then you gotta say to yourself, they really can't say he did it because by the time they got to the body, um, they really couldn't speculate what it really was, offhand. So I was watching that, you know what I'm saying? And they never actually gave a determination of an autopsy, whether she was strangled or, something like that. Blunt force trauma. They didn't give us that. So you know. So that's why I say was it other needs because again, what I saw on the Instagram, how do you get it? Was it in the van? Was y'all riding with some? And I'm just telling you what I saw. And it brought up a lot of questions, so I laid back and I chilled. And I'm gonna go back to that because, as y'all know, everybody got an opinion, and I just wanted to share mine. Okay, you're welcome, love. I'll be sending more on your videos. Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate it. So, I done had a lot of onlookers on tonight, coming and going. So, let me see. I have to be somebody in her family. Yep, but they did. If you ask me, they did it to cover the baby. What a parent won't do for their kid. That's just simple facts. Simple facts. Parents, parents will do just about anything to protect the love of their kid. And some will willing to do time. Some ain't. Some ain't. But yeah, as you see it. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. But on that note, my nose is so itchy. I'm so glad the YouTube streets have beefed down because all that reading between the lines of these videos, y'all already know I had one set up for y'all. Y'all already know it. So I'm so glad to peace. All of them ate some fish. And if you know what I mean, you should be tickled pink. All of them ate some fish. Water ate some, Love ate some, Adrian ate some. It was catfish. It's nice video. Mhm. So yeah. But I'm gonna contain myself from bringing up them videos because again, like I ain't trying to bring up no bad vibes over here. Okay, I can only see what others see, and what I see that made no sense. What it did though? Who be love saying? You see it crack me up. Let, but before I let y'all go, and listen to this. This is a video I was working on behind the scenes, but I be in so much pain. I just only got a few minutes into it. But I'm gonna let y'all hear how it starts off, y'all. I might have to switch the narrative in it, okay? But it's my favorite girls, and I ain't gonna lie to you, it's be loving that age, yeah. My favorite girls in the world. Mm-mm-mm. They my favorite girls in the world that I don't even know, okay? It's just that. It's just facts. Besides touchdown. Boy, let me tell you. Okay. Chrissy gave a nice live too. You come to watch my YouTube channel. Hey, thank you for tuning. This is Beaverlicious TV. He look like somebody done got some paper throwed in their face. Now that's all I'm gonna let you hear. Wait a minute. Now what be love say? Between the two sisters, you're wrong. Turn around. Let's see what Adrian has to say. She said, "Come on with it. Come on with it." Boy, you think I ain't get that? And that woman knows she teaching me. Come on with it. And she ain't talking about nothing but some catfish or something. I think that was a catfish we or something. Boy, I'm telling you. So on that note, girl, I am going to, what did you say now? It was to be somebody in the, it has to be somebody in the family to report the purchase on the car unless his family did it to cover their butt. No, they didn't purchase no car. They trying to say he got away and by using mama's car. I even heard them say that he brought the van back to the house and then took it back out there. That was just too much travel. I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. Because then he ain't no telling where he touched at the house, but all of a sudden, they ain't got no fingerprint. So on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and hang this up. Say peace, love, and happiness to you all. May you all have a wonderful night. Let this young man be brought to justice, whether he dead or alive. And that's what I'm gonna say. Good night, you guys.